Hello, brother and sister. My name is Leo. I'm an MBA student in Israel in the Ben Gurion University of Negev in the city of Beersheba. As you may see, I'm already settled down in the dormitory of my student life. Today is mid-October 2022 and also the third week I'm staying in Israel. Today I'm going to share with you of these topics. How did I prepare my trip to Israel and how was the flight look like? How difficult is it to go to Israel in the COVID period? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so you can see this frustrated guy. It was mid-September. If it is your first time going to Israel, and you may have the same face like him. So he packed like half of his room to Israel. The principle is, if you give me water, food, electricity, and internet, I will survive with these supplies in 3 months. The two biggest pieces of luggage are mainly for dormitory life. I wrapped my Samsung monitor with a comforter, which costs only 1/3 of the price in Hong Kong compared with the price in Israel. Bed sheets and liners, winter clothes, medicines, body towels, personal care stuff, things that is too personal and I may not find exactly the same to buy over here. I've also packed tea leaves and Chinese herbs for soup, which are gifts from my friends. The second biggest piece of luggage is most important because it has my PS5. It's nearly double the price in Israel than in Hong Kong. The third bag is mainly my electronic accessories and gifts that I'm going to give to some friends I have in Jerusalem, a father and sister of a church. I expect to use the third bag only in my quarantine days and keep my two biggest bags untouched. The fourth bag is my hand carry bag. The weight limit is 10 kg, so I have to be cautious about what to take along. They are mainly the underwears, chargers, iPhone cords, masks, and all the accessories I need in case I cannot take my luggage in the airport and I have to wait for some days. The power bank, jacket, and my MacBook Air are in my backpack. The 4 luggages are in total around 80 kgs, but it is worth the trip. Rolling?
Roll 緊啦
I just realized one thing.
咩啊
70 kg of luggage, which means they are heavier than me.
哈同你一樣重喎
The cost of carrying with Cathay Pacific is around like 30% off from DHL if you carry it yourself. And you have it the first day on your arrival. On the last day of my preparation, the wheels of my old luggage broke down and I rushed to buy 2 new ones. My MBA program lasts for 13 months, so I'm probably not coming back to Hong Kong for the whole year. Nobody likes to be quarantined during traveling into COVID, so I have spent the last 2 months in Hong Kong meeting my friends and saying farewell. Okay, bye. See you in the inside. I have used all the rebate I have in my credit to upgrade my flight from economy to business to get more luggage in and extra sleeping time. The flight is a direct flight, reopened directly, and I highly recommend it. I enjoyed my last Chinese cuisine in the airport. Israel's culture has strict control on how they eat, and they do not eat pork, which is the major ingredient in the Chinese food. I'm very certain this is the last time I could enjoy some Chinese food, so I ate quite more than usual. The night was Mid-Autumn Festival, which is the tradition of celebrating family reunion, just like Thanksgiving in the United States. The only way for me to celebrate it is to eat the mooncake in the lounge, a seasonal dish from Cathay Pacific. Getting into Israel as a foreigner in the COVID period is very rare and difficult. Unfortunately, being admitted to a master's degree is a good reason. I spent the whole of August and September getting papers and approval. I have been vaccinated in Hong Kong with 2 doses of Pfizer. It is named BioNTech in Hong Kong. There are a lot of papers go through before I can get my visa, like vaccine certificate, receipt of my payment to a government-approved quarantine house, a full-year student health insurance with COVID coverage, and a lot more regarding to my proof of student admission status from the university. Some of the papers are requested by the university and issued by the government. The official legal language in Israel is Hebrew and Arabic, and some of these papers are in Hebrew only. With the help of the Consulate of Israel in Hong Kong and the support from the university's coordinator, I finally got enough papers. And in general, Israelis are very helpful and cheerful. After days of overwork in Hong Kong, I finally had some good sleep on the bed on plane. It was one of the best arrangements on the trip. I'm finally away from my hometown, from my friends and family to try something new in my life. Without this good sleep, I would probably get travel worn and no energy to pick the next challenge, landing with 70 kgs of luggage while I have to take all the COVID-related tests. The food in business class is not better than their counterparts on the ground, but I'm so happy they have spare ice cream that makes me feel like home. After 14 hours of flight, I arrived in Ben Gurion Airport and started my little journey to Ben Gurion University.
Attention please. Smoking is prohibited in all terminal halls. Thank you.
Ben Gurion Airport is only 20 minutes of driving to the business center Tel Aviv or 40 minutes of driving to the official capital city Jerusalem. So, both the airport and university are named after Israel's founding father, David Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion is a leader of the Zionist community before the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. He's also the leader and prime minister of Israel from 1948 to 1963. I hope I could have more time to study about this history and share more about it. I had both the COVID PCR test and the serology test in the airport. It was much easier than I expected, and there were no queue in the airport at all because it was the biggest holiday month of Israel culture, the Sukkot. The day of my arrival is just the beginning of Sukkot, so it is my long holiday spending in the quarantine house. Sukkot is similar to the Lunar New Year in Chinese culture, in which they have more than a whole week of holidays. The holiday or the rest day habits in Israel is very different from the rest of the world.
Okay, so this is terminal, this is gate 1 of the same terminal. There's one small shop open, but nothing else is opened. No tourist information. Yeah, you can get some cash if you don't have it here. I got some from my friends. And though no SIM card, I got my RAV card already with a very nice gentleman probably doing security, and he pressed for me and I got it. Well, whatever. See you soon.
They literally do not work on holidays, and there's no public transport, and hospitals are closed except for emergencies. For sure, it is for most of the shops too. The weekends are called the Jewish Shabbat or the Biblical Sabbath. It is from Friday night to Saturday before sunset. There are generally no shops, no restaurants, no supermarkets open on rest days. It was even illegal for supermarkets to open before a court rule in 2014. When doctors and nurses have shift on Friday and Saturday, they normally drive to work, or they have to take taxis run by non-Jews. In 2019, the city government of Tel Aviv launched a limited public transport on weekends, which created a kind of controversy in the community. This looks insane to a HongKonger with a 24 hours working Asia culture habit. The quarantine rules allowed me to take taxi only, and it was the biggest holiday of the year when literally nobody works. I took a taxi with a premium price, double of the estimated price of my university advisor. But as a Sukkot, I'm good enough to know there is still a taxi for me who drove me safely to my university.